Good afternoon, welcome to today's vlog, Tuesday the 2nd of December. Hope you're all well and having a good day. You join me just leaving Maidstone, coming onto the M20 on my third job of the day, but anyway, more of that later. I mentioned last week I wasn't working yesterday, Monday, had the day off, which was fine. So I was going to give you some figures from last week. So last week I only worked 4 days. Total income was £765. Now, my fixed set expenses. I'm going to go through this in more detail, I think, on another vlog, because I don't want to get too tied down with it today when I've got other things to talk about. But my expenses are split into two different things. I've got a monthly set figure of £600, which is for the van and the loan that I made to the business when I started, and then I've got everything else, so that's all the insurances and all the other bits and pieces, which is done on a daily rate. Now, I budget for 230 days a year, 46 weeks. I don't work weekends, so each week is basically 5 days, 46 weeks, 5 days, 230 days. Yeah, so my fixed there is £35 a day. So last week income was 765. My set expenses 4 days at £35 a day, 140. My fuel last week was £134.80, and I had a congestion charge of £15. That gives me a income of £465.20. But as I say, there's part of £600 to come up off that as well at the end of the month. So you could look at that as £150 a week for the van, and that would take my figure down to about 315. But I'll explain it, I think, in a little bit more detail, and hopefully it will make sense. I did 969 miles, 24.39 gallons, and I averaged 39.73 miles per gallon. Yeah, I'm happy with that. There was a London one in there. The traffic was its normal London chaos, so that's probably about right for a London trip in. Anything between 38 and 42, then I'm happy with. Right, on to today. Funny old day today. It's going to work out all right in the end, but I've done 3 jobs, and I feel each of the 3 jobs I'm a little bit under really what I'd want for the jobs. But as we know, being a self-employed courier driver on the CX, the market is the market, so we have to go with it. I won a job yesterday evening, which was pleasing. Collection at 7:30 this morning from Colchester. Going 38 miles for a small van down to Rayleigh in Essex, which is just before Southend. It was a fairly straightforward pickup. It was just some boxes. I was on site for 7:10, and I was away by 7:25, so quite pleased with that, because I'm away 5 minutes before I was actually due. We did have some traffic problems on the A12 this morning, a couple of accidents which held me up, so I wasn't actually on site till 8:45, which was probably about 25 minutes later than I would have liked, but got the stuff off and I was out the door at 8:50, so with £60. There was quite a few jobs around, which I bid on, and it just really wasn't getting anywhere. There was yeah, everything I was bidding for I wasn't getting. There was quite a few vehicles around, but it just seemed my bids were too high. So after about an hour or so, I decided I really need to sort of drop the pricing down. And straight away I got a job. There was one from Basildon, small van job, 39 miles going to Maidstone. Now realistically I want £60 for that, but I bid in on similar type jobs and I wasn't getting them. So, excuse me, still not going in this throat. So I went with £50, and I got a phone call straight away, which is fine. It's a job, it gets me moving. but again, obviously I'm a little bit disappointed that it's probably £10 less than I would have liked. Anyway, round we go, straightforward pickup. Again, that was just a couple of boxes. When it says Maidstone, you're hoping for somewhere fairly close to the M20, but it wasn't. Anybody knows a place called Teapot Island, just past Paddock Wood. It's in the sort of middle of nowhere, really. Delivery to a residential address for some engineers that were waiting for it. But anyway, we got it all done, and we was empty just, I think it was around about 12 o'clock. I didn't write it down, actually. So parked up when I got some lunch, parked up. And again, there were some jobs coming out of Maidstone, Alresford, Tonbridge Wells, couple going into central London, which I didn't really want to do because of the traffic issues, and again, price-wise, one was for e-courier, and they don't normally want to pay a decent rate, to be fair, no disrespect to them, but they don't. Couple of longer jobs, put prices on, but if I'm going to go a long distance in the afternoon, then I really ideally want to try and get some decent money for it, and I wasn't getting the jobs. But I did win a third job, and that was from Tonbridge, a place called Marden. I think probably quite a lot of you have been there. It's quite an industrial area for being in the middle of nowhere. It was a 2 o'clock booking, well, between 2 and 2:30. I wasn't too far away, so I was going to be on site for about 1:45, and that was for a long wheelbase van, 2 deliveries, one to Cricklewood in Northwest 2, and then on to Watford, which is just a little bit further going north up the A41 or M1. It was 77 miles. I put a price of £90 on it. And again, I really felt like I wanted a bit more money for it, but it was the third job of the day. I think I probably just had to go with that, and I did get a phone call straight away. Typically it's parcels going to a parcel company, and then on to the courier that's given me the job there, taking some of the other boxes elsewhere. The goods, I was there just before 2, and I didn't get away till just gone 2:30. So consequently, I'm just on the M20 now. Probably going to get to Cricklewood for somewhere around about 5 o'clock, and then probably get somewhere around Watford and get that final bit off 5:30, 5:45. It's a little bit later than I would like. I normally like to be finished if I can, sort of 3, 4 o'clock, so it's probably going to be a bit of a later finish for me tonight. Going to be a couple of hours from when I'm empty, so I'm not going to get home till about it's probably going to be looking at about 7:30 to 8 o'clock. But yeah, 3 jobs. First one at 60, second one at 50, and this third one at 90. So it's £200. So I've beaten my target for the day, so I've got to be pleased with that. Just one of those days, I think, but beggars can't be choosers at the moment, so we take it and we move on. Nothing in the bag for tomorrow yet. I'll have a look a little bit later on, and that's about it. So I'll perhaps go through the budget tomorrow, try and divert a little bit more time to it. Hope you had a good day. Hope you've had a successful day as well, and yeah, we'll talk again tomorrow. All the best now. Cheers. Bye.